Dewey Hammond here with Arturo Alvarez, midfielder for the El Salvadorian national team. Grew up playing with the U.S. national team before making the switch to El Salvador, his home country. And now you watched the U.S. in the World Cup, obviously. Break down the performance. Obviously exciting to get to the round of 16, disappointing to lose again to Ghana 2-1.
Yeah, no, I think the USA was a team that showed a lot of heart in this World Cup, a team that never gave up, and that's kind of it was sad to see them lose against Ghana after all that work they put in. I was hoping that they could go farther than that, but I think it showed the characteristics of a united team. They were all together, they were all playing for each other. They never gave up, like I said, and I think the first game against England, get a 1-1 tie, get a point out of it. I think that was a huge game. Boost their confidence a little bit, and it showed in the Slovenia game and in the Algeria game. So I think they showed well. Obviously, they were a bit unfortunate with some of the calls that their referees were making, but you just got to move on and keep going. And I think that's what they did. But I wish they would have gone a little bit farther than what they did. So.
Now you mentioned the officiating. There's obviously some calls in the U.S. games that were controversial, and even beyond that, there's just been a lot of controversial calls in this World Cup in general. What are your thoughts about the controversial refereeing and also the debate over whether or not instant replay has a role in the future of soccer?
Yeah, no, obviously we've all noticed that the refereeing has not been the best in this World Cup. I think there could be something done about that, but at the same time, soccer's been around for so long that I don't think any of that instant replay or the video replay, analyzing it through video has been in effect. You just kind of you get that call, and obviously it's either going to be a good call or a bad call, but you got to move on. And but yeah, no, I think I just think I personally think that they shouldn't put any of that stuff in there, just because you don't want to change the game the way it was. It's been played for so many for so long, so many decades, that I think just maybe work a little bit more on officiating, making sure that the refs are on top of their game, and then just go from there.
So is your personal resistance to instant replay, like you said, the tradition? Is it about the tradition and that's the way the game has always been, or is part of it also that the instant replay would slow down the pace of soccer? Because soccer's interesting in the sense that it doesn't have all the TV timeouts and the stoppages. People say that soccer is slow, but ironically it's the only game that doesn't really stop. Football, they play for 3 seconds and stop for 3 minutes.
Yeah, no, like you said, soccer, that's the way it's been, since the first World Cup. I don't know, like 1930 something. So it's been like that since then, and I think maybe work on a few things, but obviously you don't want to change the basic rules of the game, and I think we're all human. People make mistakes. Obviously the refs make mistakes and stuff like that. And but at the same time, it's a 90-minute game, so you really can't rely on excuses, either if you win or lose. So, but obviously that's something that that the FIFA, the governing body of soccer, is gonna have to really look into it. And yeah, but obviously there's been some bad calls from the refs, but I think you just got to move on with it. That's life.
Back to the United States and Ghana, the 2-1 loss. From an amateur's perspective, i.e. my perspective, it seemed as though the defenders were just maybe a step slow, and that maybe the coaching wasn't where it needed to be. What could the United States have done differently to win that game? If you could go back and you were the coach of that team, what would you do differently?
I think we saw that in this World Cup. I think the U.S. Gave up really early goals. I think I think that was something that they should have worked on. Maybe not going down 1-0 in the first 10 minutes of the game. I think that kind of hurt them. And it kind of happened with Ghana right when extra time started. They got scored on right away. So but I mean, obviously they showed a lot of heart, but I think if they maybe could have avoided the early goals, I think they could have easily gone through very far.
Now, unfortunately, they weren't able to repeat the trend versus Ghana, but there was definitely a trend with the U.S. national team this year of giving up early goals, like you said, but also scoring late goals. And, just an incredible amount when you consider the games they played, just the number of times that they scored late goals to get back into the game. And, one of the guys obviously was making all the headlines, Landon Donovan. Talk a bit about Landy.
I think Landon's a great player. I had the chance to play with him, early in my career, in San Jose for the Earthquakes. So, I think he's the face of U.S. soccer, and I think he showed it in this World Cup. He stepped up in the games when he had to, and I'm really happy that he's doing well. I think a lot of people always have doubts in him, saying that he might not show up for big games, but I think he proved everybody wrong, and I think the U.S. got exactly what they need from Landon Donovan in this World Cup.
Yeah, well, he certainly showed up for the World Cup this time around. Is he the best United States soccer player ever?
Yes, I think so.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.